This is Blazers All Access, an inside look at UAB basketball with head coach Andy Kennedy. Blazers All Access is presented by Viva Health, part of the UAB health system, and by Mountain Dew. Do the do. Here's the voice of the Blazers, David Crane.
UAB started a 3-game road trip by making a little history in Ruston on Saturday afternoon. We welcome you to Blazers All Access with head coach Andy Kennedy. I'm David Crane. For the first time ever, the green and gold left the Thomas Assembly Center with a win, coach. Entertaining game between two pretty good teams and what I thought was a great environment.
I thought it was a great college basketball game, really. Obviously that's looking from the perspective of the guy that won. But watching the tape, great atmosphere. The La Tech people got great pride in their program, and I thought they brought great energy, tremendous student section. And we jumped out, man. I thought our approach out of the gate was outstanding. Jumped out 15-2. Now, I wasn't foolish enough to think that was going to hold throughout the course of the game, and certainly it did not. As good as Jelly was, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, I'm going to tell you, Archibald was equally as good for them early. Kept them in the game by making hard, contested threes, and then second half, Lofton Jr. just took over the game. He's just a man-child, and if you allow him to establish position with his arm extended, Trey Jeminson's one of the biggest, most physical post players in Conference USA. He was in the all-defensive team last year. And when he extended his arm, Trey couldn't get around him. And then he dislodges you off the bounce. He gets to his spot, and he's got an incredible ability to finish. So we knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. We had to match them by being able to produce offensively, execute down the stretch. Thankfully, we did.
You mentioned the great start, and from 10 rows up in the stands where we were watching it, something Jordan said in postgame, focus. It looked like focus was the biggest difference in the two teams to me.
Well, I thought initially we completely took them out of their offensive rhythm. Then they played with a little desperation. They had won, 9, 10 in a row, and they were 18 straight in that building. They don't lose much. They have an expectation to win when they're in there. That's what good teams do. And I think they played with a real sense of urgency. Lofton was slow out of the gate and then really got going. Luckily, again, Archibald was tremendous. I thought Keyston Willis, the young man who's transferred in there, knocked down some real tough shots to keep them in it. We led the game for 38 minutes, and yet we're down by a possession with about 4 and 5 to play. We answered that with a 7-0 run. So every time we were called to answer, thankfully we did.
You mentioned the matchups. We knew the big men would be an interesting matchup. The guard play as well. Jordan Walker on his way to a career day, 5 3-pointers in the first half, and as you said, Archibald tried to do his best to carry that entire load. He had 6 threes in the opening 20 minutes.
A huge one right at the end of the clock. We went to that 1-3-1, and we had him scrambled. It was about 2 seconds to go, and they kind of a little bit of a pitch back. He hits a huge three, I believe, to cut it to 8. When it felt like, by the way we had played, it felt like we should be up, 13, 14 points. And then right out of the gate, man, they chopped that lead right down quickly at the under 16 media. I mean, we're back in a one-possession game.
Blazers built a 15-point lead late in the first half. Tech just wouldn't go away. Green and gold led 41-33 at halftime. Here's a look at some of the first half action from Ruston.
Jackson underhands to Lovin, top of the key, takes a 16-foot jumper and hits. Jackson pushing into the front court, down the lane he goes. He will lay it up, no good. Tip try, sits and falls for 2, courtesy of KJ Buffin. Here comes UAB. Walker, right wing, pulls up for a 3. Got it! Wow. Jordan, top of the key now. Back it comes to Jackson, right wing. He'll penetrate, right baseline jumper, up, good. Right side, Lovin, bounces down low, Buffin. KJ fumbled it, got it back, turned, shoots a little 5-footer and hits. Taven gets into the lane, throws up a left-hand runner and gets it to go. Free throw line in the lane, turns, shoots it high, arcing 10-footer and hits. To Walker left side as Lofton finally gets down the floor. Right side, Buffin takes a 15-footer. It sits and falls for 2.
Some point.
Ertl's got it, left of the circle. He'll hit a 3. To Lovin. Around to Ertl, right side, long 3 up, and good. With it, slides left, launches a 3, got it again. The elbow, Mike, little stutter step move, steps back, 16-footer, good. The rebound, knocked away, Jackson, left side, his jumper up and good. Ahead to Jordan Walker, quickly front court, far side, 3-ball, up, got it again.
Wow.
With 2:10 to go in the half, Walker with it, top of the wheel, pulls up for a 3, good again. 4th APS 3-pointer. Emerson left of the lane. Diagonal pass to Walker near wing. Deep 3 up. Count it.
Wow. Is he good? Is he emotional?
The highlights are brought to you by Viva Health.
You weren't thinking about a Medicare plan back then, but at Viva Medicare, it's been on our mind for a long time. And we know a thing or two about making Medicare easy. That's why our plans have $0 copays for primary care physician visits. So when the time comes to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that focuses on the things you're passionate about, we'll be here for you. Viva Medicare. Enjoy life without the worry. Learn more at vivahealth.com/Medicare.
Legacy is what you do every day. We try not only to help people with their financial legacies, we hope that we enrich their lives and help them become better people so that total package, at the end of the day, is something they can be proud of. We help them craft their legacy.
8-point lead for the green and gold at halftime. UAB led 41-33. Both teams came into the game with a week off. Coach, how much did that week of preparation help your team?
Well, the timeliness of it I thought was good. It helped us to take an extra day off to rest a bit. And then obviously when you're playing a game of this magnitude early in the conference season, you want as much time as you can to prep. So I thought it was advantageous for us. They also had the midweek off, so it wasn't like it was any advantage. Like we're going to face later in the season, I think, you know, when you have a week off and your opponent has a week off, it kind of evens out. But there's sometimes where you're playing on Thursday and Saturday and your opponent is only playing on Saturday. That's when it could really become effective. But I thought we went into it with the right mindset. Again, our team understood the magnitude of the game. Now, can we play to that level in order to win? Because at the end of the day, emotions, you can talk about all of the things. We had never won there and this and that. You can throw all that out of the window once you get into the game. Then it comes down to execution, and we were able to do enough to get stops, put us in a position to make plays. Rose up made a couple of huge plays down the stretch to get a much-needed win.
And as you mentioned, it was pretty clear what the Bulldogs' game plan was in the second half. It was Kenneth Lofton and then more Kenneth Lofton.
I think they do a great job. We talked about this going into the game. Their roster structure is such that they have 4 guys on the floor with Lofton, so it's hard to double him. Our issue, and we talked about it, is where does he make his initial catch? If he catches it close to the basket, you have no chance. And we didn't do a good enough job of staying up the line to force them to throw over the top. Their spacing was such, though, that the times that we did defend it well, they were still able to get him angles to score. And what can you say? Again, if they allow him to establish wider than his base and then dislodge off the initial, he knocks you back. He was knocking Trey Jemison around at 260. Just shows you the kid's strength. And then he doesn't need much separation to finish. Tremendous player.
Mentioned Tech took a 3-point lead in the second half before you rallied. And boy, every time they made a charge at you, you were able to withstand it. I know that had to be awfully pleasing as you watched it.
Well, it was because of the fact that we executed. I thought we got the right shots for the right guys, and obviously it was jelly, 9 threes. The timeliness of them, you had a couple down the stretch in a 1 or 2 possession game, which were daggers. But also I thought we had a huge basket by Taven Levin, who's been struggling a little bit lately to finish. I thought he made a huge finish off the inside. I thought KJ Buffin was tremendous for us, really off the defensive glass, but made a couple of huge plays, keeping balls alive. And then Quan Jackson with another timely 3 in the second half when we needed a basket.
Tremendous individual performances, really on both sides. We'll look at all the stats in the next segment, but free throw shooting was massive in that game.
We talked about going into the game, we were just under 70% as a team, which I think is beneath our standard. I think we're a team that's capable of being 72, 73%. I think we went 21 for 24. Trey Jemison with a couple of huge free throws down the stretch. We kept them at bay by being able to seal it from the free throw line.
Blazers withstood flurries by the Bulldogs, held on for an 83-76 win at the Thomas Assembly Center. Here's a look at some of the second half action from Ruston.
Back Jackson, free throw line, stops, fall away 15-footer, good. Walker spins left side, catch and shoot 3, good again. Weak side rebound. KJ backs it out left of the lane, keeps the dribble going, works it back into the paint, takes a fall away 8-footer and hits. Back to Walker, right wing, catch and shoot 3, count it, and a foul! Drive, dish, right corner to Jackson for a 3. Got it! Pill dribble drive now. Lay it up and get it to go. Underhands to Lovin. Taven with it at the point. Steps in. He'll drive. He'll lean in. Put up a tough 8-footer and get it to go. Top of the wheel. Thought about a 3 away to Walker. He'll take an NBA 3 and bury it.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The highlights are brought to you by Mountain Dew.
Legacy is what you do every day. We try not only to help people with their financial legacies, we hope that we enrich their lives and help them become better people so that that total package, at the end of the day, is something they can be proud of. We help them craft their legacy.
This segment of Blazers All Access is sponsored by Regions Bank.
Blazers now 16-4 overall, 6-1 in Conference USA following the big win at Louisiana Tech. Here are the Children's of Alabama stats for the game. UAB 45.5% shooting overall, 50% from three-point range, 87.5% from the foul line. Bulldogs a little better than 46% overall, 40% from three, and just 60% from the line. Blazers won the battle of the boards. Turnovers were dead even at 18 apiece. Blazers had 11 steals, one more than the Bulldogs had. Coach, when you go back and look at that final box score, what was the single biggest stat in your mind?
Well, 12 for 24 from three helps, and then you make your free throws. So we shot the ball. 18 turnovers. I don't know if we've won a game since I've been here that we had that many turnovers, most especially against a quality opponent such as La Tech. 18 turnovers is ridiculous. We did not handle their pressure at the end of the game, which put them in a position to have a chance to steal it, although we led for 38 minutes, as we discussed. And a lot of positives, a lot of things that we can continue to get better on, though. I think, Jelly was tremendous coming off Player of the Week. I think he's going to be the Player of the Week again this week. When's the last time a UAB guy was back-to-back? It just kind of shows you the impact that he's had in these games. It's great to see Quan back firing, but we've still got some other guys that I think have got some room to grow, which means there's still a lot of potential for growth on this team.
Quan finished with 14 points, KJ 11, Taven added 10. You mentioned it a little earlier, but each one of those guys made some big plays, but it seemed like they had one really big one for you at different points, especially there in the second half.
Yeah, offensively and defensively. Trey did not have his best game. He gets in foul trouble again. It seems to be a trend when he goes against Lofton, but I still think he was tremendous force when he was on the court by anchoring us, by giving us a presence at the basket. So a lot of positives. The thing that I'm probably the most proud of in hindsight is the way in which we did not flinch against a really good team in a hostile environment. Shows that this team is focused on something bigger than just one game.
And for the second week in a row, no surprise, our difference maker is one Jordan Walker, career high 36 points. Tied the school record with 9 made three-pointers. He even put his name in the Tech record book with that performance. Hard to say enough good things about what he's done for you, especially the last couple of games.
You know what, I thought he was tremendous. I thought his floor game was good. He had a couple of turnovers at the end. Sometimes against pressure, he's so small that we typically don't want to enter it to him initially because we don't want him to have to fight that initial trap with size. But a couple of times he got himself in some poor positions and they were able to take the ball away. His shot making, the timeliness of it, and the degree of difficulty were incredible. We played late in the clock because we're trying to bleed down the game, and then he rose up and just made tremendous plays off the bounce. And really with his three-point shooting. For a guy that made a lot of threes, man, watching the tape, I was really in awe. He had some Steph Curry-like step backs from NBA range, tremendous shot-making ability.
This segment of Blazers All Access is sponsored by Regions Bank.
Those green and gold banners up there, better wake up the seamstress. They're about to get some company. Because this is a revival.
This segment of Blazers All Access is sponsored by Legacy Credit Union.
The road trip continues on Thursday night in Bowling Green. UAB meets Western Kentucky. Coach, some tremendous battles between these teams over the years.
I obviously, Western and UAB were back in the original Sun Belt, and Clem Haskins had done a tremendous job of building that program, and they've had a lot of storied success over the years. I've been a part of many battles as a player. I've been in there actually as a coach when I was at Ole Miss, and so it'll be a trip down memory lane. It's one of my favorite places to go because I know the passion of basketball in that state. Rick Stansberry and I obviously have a history from back in the SEC days. He's done a tremendous job. So it's going to be a great challenge for us. I don't look at their record. They've had some struggles as of late. Some of them it's hard to win on the road. When I see their record, I think they're the best 10-9 team in all of college basketball. I see a team that has already knocked off Louisville. They've already knocked off Ole Miss. Tremendous talent, and they present a bunch of matchup issues that could be very problematic for us.
As you mentioned, they're 10-9 overall, 2-4 in league play, and I'm guessing you would prefer to see them not on a 3-game losing streak coming into this one.
Well, we're gonna certainly feel the desperation. They have a big 2-game home swing, and we've always talked about it. It's still early in the season, and you got to protect your home floor. I know we will get a focused group in Bowling Green on Thursday.
4 guys still averaging double figures right now. They're a good shooting team. They seem to be living at the free throw line again this season. As you said, the stats and that record don't exactly match up here.
It really doesn't. You know, they've got one of the best. McKnight at the point is tremendous. He's one of only 2 players in college basketball that's averaging over 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. He impacts the game. He and Jelly, even though I don't know how much they will go head to head, it's going to be a dynamic. You're talking about 2 of the best guards in all of college basketball. And then their big guy inside Sharp. Leads the nation in blocks, leads the nation in dunks, 7'5", and I said that right, David. I don't mean to make you feel more insecure, but he is 7'5". He is 7'5". So he is going to cause some issues for us on both sides of the ball.
I've already had requests to get a picture made with him for comparison. Tip time Thursday night, 8 o'clock, CBS Sports Network televising. Murray Bartow and I will be on there with pregame starting at 7:30. Then Saturday, Green and Gold visit Huntington to finish the road swing. UAB and Marshall tip at 6. Games available on ESPN+. Pregame starts at 5:30 from the Cam Henderson Center. Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you, David.
For head coach Andy Kennedy, I'm David Crane. Thanks for being with us. Hope you'll join us next time here on Blazers All Access.
Blazers All Access has been presented by Mountain Dew, Do the Do, and by Viva Health, part of the UAB Health System. This has been a presentation of the Blazers Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.